like beer. I often tell people, you go to the bar to order a beer, say Kiern. You don't go to the bar to order a burr, you don't say Kern. In thinking back to when Einstein was given a compass, or Madame Curie would look through the cabinet at her father's instruments, and how drastically that affected their lives. My own personal exploration of self occurred when I was first introduced to the Disney Channel. Walt Disney was still alive, and he would introduce the shows, talk about the content and what that content meant. It struck me then, more so than anybody familiar with Disney now, that one person was able to shape this universe. Those cartoons and the storytelling that went into them, and the voice acting too, just took me someplace that living with my grandparents couldn't, even though they were disgusted by the amount of time that I spent in front of the TV and canceled the satellite dish service. Thinking forward, Ramachandran finding his way to a narrow niche is completely accurate to what I'm currently doing after having a lot of experience in the theater and a little bit of experience in film, and now having built a mixed media theater for my marionette puppets. I can see the prospect, the real value of providing something that people can't get anywhere else. A narrative puppet show, which is told much like sitcom television in episodes, and uses rear projection, video projection to also provide stop motion animation along with the puppetry. It's totally unique, hand carved or originally created puppets. I get a lot of enjoyment out of creating these things and solving the problems, figuring out ways to make a shot. Like the current one I'm figuring out is how to do a train scene where my principal character is on a train and she encounters my other principal. How do you do that when you're dealing with a proscenium theater and puppets? That's definitely a niche, and Ramachandran, in finding his way to optics, for some reason that story struck me more than Yoki Matsuoka's, who went into robotics, even though I have a history in golf, and so you'd think I'd appreciate that. Here I am at my folks' place, their property in the northwest corner of the state of Montana. They're accepting of me now, but the reality is that when you come from a small community, your expectation is that you'll follow into some sort of path that everybody can grasp. There takes some bucking of the expectation in order to do what you really want, if that involves working in the field of entertainment. One of the hardest things about exploring something like that, being a part of entertainment, was confronted in the chapter about Freddie Roach, which deals with letting go of the past. And Freddie Roach had tried to be a professional, and I've tried and very nearly gotten some great opportunities, acting, being the person in front of the camera or on the stage, writing, producing. I've written a few plays and produced a few, and then you get really close to making it a number of times, really close to being picked up by a festival or picked up on a internationally screened project. When you get really close to it a number of times but don't quite make it, and you come to a point like this where maybe it took COVID to push me out of that, not being able to perform for a while and having to find a new outlet, letting go of that past. I'm really not going to go very deep into the find your way back, the life or death scenario. Maybe there have been times where I felt that way, but there were long ago, a decade ago. I felt like I was completely on the outs, and it was depressing, and I realized I was depressed, and then I got busy, and got after it and got to work and found things to do and went to school. That was important. Got my bachelor's. And so I suppose even though I say that finding your way back is an imperative to me, the simple truth is it is imperative to me.